Good morning, everybody. If you can't already tell by my Disney tea, we are going to be talking Disney today. Specifically, my favorite part of Disney, and that is food. I am a Disney foodie through and through, but I do have a lot of limitations when it comes to what I can eat in Disney, and that is because I choose to eat a vegetarian diet. That's a huge backstory in itself. Long story short, it is for health reasons. I feel much better, and I have some things where it's easier on my digestion to eat this way, and I have been eating this way for about a decade, which is crazy to think about, but I've been going to Disney for a very long time and eating this way, and I can tell you through trial and error, lots of trial and error, trying things that were amazing but are no longer even around, and trying new option after new option, what the absolute best of the best food is when it comes to vegetarian options, which happen to have a lot of overlap with the vegan options, but I'm not as well versed in that particular area because I do eat dairy. But a lot of plant-based options in Disney are also vegan and vegetarian. So keep that in mind if you're a vegan. This video also might be helpful for you too. So this is a lot. This is a lot of content. I have pictures of everything I'm going to be talking about. I've broken it up by park and even added in Disney Springs and hotels. So this is going to be 2 parts. I already decided. I know it's going to be lengthy. 2 parts. This part is going to be quick service and snacks, and part 2 is going to be table service. Caitlin, if you're watching, this video's for you. Magically Caitlin has specifically requested this video. Her and her sister-in-law, who also happens to be named Caitlin. Hi guys, I hope this video helps you out and you have such an amazing time on your trip. So let's get into it. I've got a lot to share. We're gonna start with the quintessential Magic Kingdom, who also happens to have the least options, unfortunately. Starting off really strong in Magic Kingdom, Sleepy Hollow, located in the Liberty Square section, right when you go over that bridge and you're on like the side of the castle, it's right there. I also recommend going a little bit across the way and sitting in that area because there's a lot more seats over there. But Sleepy Hollow, honestly, breakfast. Sleepy Hollow lunch, don't really got any options, but Sleepy Hollow for breakfast and or snacks, they have the fresh fruit waffles, the classic fresh fruit waffles, and the also like giant Mickey shaped head waffle with strawberries. That's also pretty good. They now serve them all day long. Before they only served them in the morning and you had to like rush there early and get them, but now it's an all day long option, which is awesome. Their lunch option is a like chicken and waffle, which I don't partake in. So now I can get a fresh fruit waffle for lunch if I want to too. And honestly, there really are no rules when it comes to eating in Disney. I feel like if you want a waffle for dinner, you can eat a waffle for dinner. So all in all, it's just a really delicious option. It's one of my favorite snacks in Magic Kingdom, and I pretty much get it at least once every trip. Then we're gonna make our way over into like the Fantasyland section, and I like Friar Nooks. If I want a easy, no frills, reliable lunch, I will hit up Friar Nooks. They have like a plant-based, I believe it's Impossible sausage. Disney loves Impossible. You will see a theme. Like if you want a hot dog, most places that make hot dogs will also have an Impossible hot dog option as well. But Friar Nooks is just a basic hot dog with tater tots, a side of tater tots. And the tater tots are always good. They're always warm and crispy. And you just throw some ketchup. You can get a side of slaw for the hot dog, and it's honestly good. It's filling, it's not expensive, which is awesome, and it just keeps you going through a long Magic Kingdom day. I do know Casey's Corner also has a plant-based hot dog. I have personally not tried it. I think it's got a lot more stuff on it. Personally more of just like a plain Jane kind of person when it comes to my options, but Fire Nux has always been a solid option and it's never let us down. I will also say all of these options have been vetted by both me and my husband. We both eat vegetarian, so these are also taken into account that he enjoys them too, not just me. So if that helps sway you in any way. We're going to get into snacks because as far as quick service, that's pretty much the options that I go to. There are a couple of other things in the parks as far as vegetarian options, but it's very, very limited in Magic Kingdom. So let's talk about snacks. Blanket statement, any of the parks, you can get a pretzel, you can get popcorn. It's going to be plant-based. I'm not going to name those for every park, but you can get a pretzel, you can get popcorn. My preferred snack in Magic Kingdom is a Dole Whip. Any of the Dole Whips, delicious. I particularly like the float where it's the coconut Dole Whip and it's on top of Pog juice with the little pineapple cake pop. That's what it's called. I really, really, really love that. That's probably like my favorite, but a classic like pineapple vanilla swirl is really good too. I did also try the pineapple upside down cake with like the Dole Whip on top, and the cake was so incredibly dry. I want to know if anybody else has tried it and gotten it and had it be good, because for me the cake was so dry that it was like not good at all. Even with like the Dole Whip on top, it just didn't taste good in my opinion. It tasted like a very dry, very bland, just like vanilla cake. I will also shout out the Gaston's Tavern cinnamon roll. I know that's a favorite among many Disney goers and it does look delicious. I personally haven't gotten, just because I'm not a huge just cinnamon roll fan, and it's a lot of cinnamon roll. It's very big. Another sweet treat that's really good is the cattail over by the teacups area. There's like a little cat cafe, the Cheshire Cat Cafe. That's where you get the cattail. My husband had the cattail and he said it was very, very good. So lots of snack options in Magic Kingdom. You really can't go wrong with snacks. It's just finding like solid sit-down meals is a little bit harder, but there are really, really good options when it comes to the table service. So make sure you stick around for part 2 because the table service options in Magic Kingdom are pretty good. Then we move on to Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios is the redemption for Magic Kingdom. Hollywood Studios has honestly some of the best quick service just in general, not just if you're vegetarian, but in general. Starting off breakfast. Typically when we go to Ronto Roasters, we get the breakfast wrap. Now it is a just egg inside like that non-bread wrap with the like spicy chickpea coleslaw on top. It's very good. The one thing I will say is that the coleslaw is cold, so it kind of makes the whole thing cold, and it really, really would taste so much better if it was hot. But I understand it's Disney, it's theme park food, it's quick service. They're not taking the time to heat everything up and keep it hot for you. It's kind of what you get when you get there. Overall, the flavor of this is just excellent. It's a really, really good option. Like, that coleslaw is so, so, so good. And it's the same chickpea coleslaw that they put on the lunch version, where it's a like roasted zucchini. instead of a sausage. That one is also very, very good. We just always end up going there for breakfast because there aren't too many breakfast options when it comes to quick service food in Hollywood Studios. Then we head over to the, in my opinion, my favorite quick stop for food in Hollywood Studios, Woody's Lunchbox. The tachos, they do have the plant-based chili option, are so good. Like, honestly, I've heard people say that they actually prefer the plant-based chili to the meat one. That chili is so flavorful, it's so delicious, filling over a nice bed of like warm tater tots. It's really, really delicious and you can't go wrong. It's filling. I love it so much. I'm literally salivating thinking about it. I always get a side of the tomato soup as well because the tomato soup is really, really good, and I like to dip my tater tots in the tomato soup, and that's just my favorite thing to do. I also will say, for a quick snack, I love the Lunchbox tarts. I am a fan of the Lunchbox tarts. I've tried many, as you can see. I love them all. They're delicious. Then another option for lunch. There's really a lot of like good options in Hollywood Studios. Rosie's All-American Cafe has a plant-based lobster roll that's made with hearts of palm instead of lobster. And if you've never had hearts of palm, it doesn't have a strong flavor. It's really just like a nice texture. Not really pickled though. They usually come packed in water. And they're kind of like tofu, where like they'll take on the flavor of whatever you put them in. And in this instance, it's like a plant-based mayo-based lobster roll dressing on top. And it's really good. It's so messy because the dressing kind of just like, it's just really messy, but it's really, really good. And it comes with a side of chips, and they're like the kettle cooked chips. And honestly, I really like to get that if I know I'm gonna have like a sit-down reservation for dinner or something and I just want a lighter lunch, because it's less food than if I was gonna get the tachos from Woody's Lunchbox. I feel like not a lot of people talk about that option, and it's really one of our favorites. Then for snacks, honestly, there's a lot of snacks in Hollywood Studios, but my personal favorites are from Backlot Express, the big Wookiee cookie. It's like a giant oatmeal sandwich cookie, and it's so, so good. It's huge though, so definitely split it with someone. Kat Saka's Kettle, also the popcorn. I know I said I wasn't going to say popcorn, but this is a special popcorn. It's the pink and like purple popcorn. It's really, really good. It's like fruity and salty and sweet. So, so good. It's such a unique flavor of popcorn. I will say, go like early and make sure when you're going that the popcorn looks fresh and not like there's only a little bit left, because then it's going to be gross. It's not going to be good. But if there's like a lot of popcorn in the machine and it looks like they're like churning it out, get it. Another good option is there's like a little cart in front of Muppets Vision that has gelato, but it's not there all the time. But they have really like refreshing gelato flavors, and sometimes they have a pog juice flavored gelato, and that is really, really good, especially on a hot day. It's like super refreshing and it's not too sweet. And I think that's it for Hollywood Studios. Now we're gonna move on to Epcot. Epcot is short and sweet because overall, Epcot, when I'm there, I'm eating festival food. I've never actually been to Epcot when there wasn't a festival going on. I would love to like do that one day and really like see, okay, like if there are no festival booths, what are my options? Festival booths aside, Spice Road Table is one of my favorite restaurants, period. not just vegetarian, not just quick service, like period, it is one of my favorite places to eat. It is a lounge type. I really didn't know whether to put this in quick service or sit down, because you do sit down, you order off a menu, but you most of the time can just walk in and you don't need like a full-on reservation. You can make one, but they also have a walk-up list and it's never full. Like I've gone even during crowded times and been able to eat there. It is just so, so good. If you like Mediterranean food, you have to eat there at least once. And like the ambiance of sitting like right next to the lake and sitting in that little area, like is such a nice break, especially if Epcot is super busy. And you have to get the fried cauliflower because the sauce that they put on that cauliflower is like one of the best things I've ever tasted in my life. And I could literally order 2 because they don't give you that many, and it's that good that I could just order 2 of those and eat all of them. I have eaten at the Space 220 lounge as well, and they do have plant-based options. I really never recommend going there for sit down because you're gonna get the full experience from the lounge anyways, and it's very expensive as a sit down. And if you go from the lounge, you can just order the fun drinks and then leave, and that's what most people want to go there for anyways. I did order the buffalo cauliflower and it was really good. It was honestly very, very tasty, but it's buffalo cauliflower. You can get it anywhere, so to go out of your way to get it, unless you really want to try the drinks, then I would recommend it. And then a good snack option for plant-based eaters is the shaved ice from Japan. I really, really loved the shaved ice. I think it's really good. It's a nice, refreshing treat when you're just so hot. And then another refreshing sweet treat is obviously the ice cream from France. So then we move on to Animal Kingdom. If you are looking for plant-based vegetarian food, your 2 best parks, Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. Again, we'll start off breakfast. So for us, whenever we want to do a nice breakfast in Animal Kingdom, we always go to Yak and Yeti, the quick service location. It's right next to the actual Yak and Yeti restaurant, but they have a little quick service stand. And it's nice and easy to get a delicious breakfast. You get, it's like an egg, peppers, onions, potatoes, you get cheese. I just order it without cheese, but it is a really, really good option for a nice, hearty, filling breakfast that's gonna fuel you for a good long day at the parks. And then as far as lunch options go, I really, really like Nomad Lounge. Nomad Lounge is the lounge area connected to Tiffin's, and they have a lot of really great options. Sometimes you can order the falafel. It really depends. I've heard people say they don't have it anymore. Last time we went, we ordered it. It's one of the best falafels I've ever had, to be honest. It's really good. And the little bread service tin is also really, really fun and delicious if you're looking for something a little unique. They also have impossible sliders, and I think they have the mushroom bao buns now that Tiffin's was serving. Just a lot of good, delicious food options. Nomad Lounge is one of my favorites. You usually always try to get into Nomad Lounge. You have to get on that waiting list early though. Once you get in the parks, get on that list. If we can't get into Nomad Lounge, our backup is always Satu'li Canteen. Satu'li Canteen is perfect if you're a vegetarian. The tofu is honestly one of the best tofu dishes on property. It's really crunchy. I don't know what kind of breading is on it, but it's really delicious. It's spicy, and over top the noodles, and I always get the green onion vinaigrette, I think it's called. One of my favorite options. Delicious. Snack wise, right next to Satu'li Canteen, There's a little like quick service stall that you can order rum blossoms and the giant pretzels at. The giant pretzel is so good. I prefer that pretzel than like a Mickey pretzel. And then snacks wise, again, you've got like the grilled corn. Delicious. I don't have a picture of the corn because we ate it too fast, but we did try it in one of my Disney vlogs, so I'll leave the vlog linked if you want to see us tasting the corn. However, I have heard that they don't grill it fresh anymore, and I haven't tried it since then, but I will probably try it soon on my most recent trip, and I'll update you guys on Instagram if it's still a good option worth getting. But that is one of my favorite snacks. And then of course there's Dole Whip. There is a small spot where you can get Dole Whip in Animal Kingdom. But other than that, that's pretty much my go-tos for Animal Kingdom. So those are all 4 of the parks. Now we're gonna quickly move on to Disney Springs and the resorts. So for Disney Springs, there's 2 that I want to mention because I haven't tried a ton in Disney Springs. I haven't like gone out of my way to try the options there, but Gideon's is a must-do if you've never done it. I recommend getting to Disney Springs like right before it opens, and like Gideon's opens at 10, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but get to the line like a little bit before they open. Get online, and the line moves pretty fast. And when you get there early, there's really not much of a line. That's like when people start lining up. And then there's a bakery that I haven't eaten at, but I want to mention it because I've heard about it and I know it's in there. I'll put the name on the screen. It's a bakery that specializes in like all vegan, all gluten-free treats. So everything in there is, I'm pretty sure, vegan, and then they have a lot of gluten-free options as well. So I wanted to include that in here. And then obviously you can get Dole Whip from Disney Springs, and there are a lot of options, but this is not every option. You know, this is my favorites. So there's more stuff than what I'm going to mention in this video. This is the tried and tested favorites approved by me. So then we get to the hotels, and honestly the hotels really shine for me when it comes to food options, especially table service. So part 2 is gonna have a lot more sit downs at these hotels, but there are some really good quick service options at the hotels as well. Keep in mind, I have not been to or stayed at every Disney hotel. These are just the ones that I've stayed at, and I keep staying at new ones every time, so I will eventually have tried everything. I'm going to blanket statement say that breakfast, pretty much at all of the resorts, quick service breakfast is gonna be decent. You can get pretty much any iteration of eggs, hash browns, Mickey waffles. Some resorts go above and beyond and have something a little bit different. They'll have a more specific plant-based option. Maybe they'll have like a tofu scramble type of thing. But blanket statement, breakfast quick service at all the resorts is gonna be a good option for you. Let's start off with my favorite. We'll just start from the top. The Polynesian is my favorite resort, and they have some of the best options for vegetarians because they have their own quick service restaurant called Captain Cook's, and you can get a little like noodle stir fry there. It's a vegetable noodle stir fry. You can add tofu to it to make it like a full meal, and it's absolutely delicious. Another really good option is to go upstairs to the Tambu Lounge. And if you go there after 4 p.m., the menu for Ohana kind of like opens up, and you can order the Ohana noodles from Tambu Lounge and the pineapple bread pudding, I think it's called, pineapple coconut bread pudding or something. It's delicious. I highly recommend ordering both of those from the lounge. And you can get Dole Whip at the Poly, so there's a lot of reasons to check out the Poly if you're a vegetarian. Beach Club, specifically, I really like beaches and cream. So it's a table service, but it's also quick service, because if you go outside right by the pool, you can order milkshakes, and they are the best milkshakes on property. So good. They put like a little donut cake right through the straw. It's delicious. Port Orleans is also a favorite, specifically French Quarter, the beignets. They're worth the trek over there. Honestly, they're so good. I personally like the caramel sauce or the chocolate sauce, but no sauce, they're really good too. They're just delicious. You really can't miss with the beignets. And then another one that I want to shout out is the Artist Palette at Saratoga Springs. They also have a lot of unique options, and they have this really good French toast that I got for breakfast in the morning, and it was so delicious. It had like a sweet vanilla cream on it. It was really good. And I love just grabbing quick service breakfast at the resort super early before heading to the parks, because then you can just focus on rides and you don't have to take your time to like eat breakfast. That is it. That is all of my quick service favorites when it comes to the Disney World parks. I hope it's helpful for those of you who are vegetarian or plant-based and planning a Disney trip. Disney is one of the places that will accommodate you no matter what. Your allergy, your diet, it is why it is one of my favorite places to vacation and visit, because I don't have to worry about food at all while I'm there. I know there will be something, and I know it's going to be delicious. It's not just going to be like an afterthought. With that, I'm going to get going. I have to now film part 2, and I will leave part 2 linked in the cards if you want to go there straight from this video. If you did enjoy this video, I would highly appreciate the subscribe and the thumbs up. And with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video.